Hello everyone and welcome back to my opinion. And South Africa have won this game by 4 runs and they clinched the ODI series 3-0. And as an Indian fan, I think after seeing Deepak Chahar's innings and how close India got, I think it would have been nice to really get kind of a consolation win. And as I said, I'm not too bothered that they didn't win because I'm saying that it probably shouldn't have got to the bowlers in that game. But in this game, but I'm saying that yeah, Deepak Chahar kind of gave a Shardul Thakur like performance with 2 wickets with the ball, and also this brilliant 54. And I think that India were pretty much in the game for this entire 50 overs, even when it was 7 wickets down. They did 40 odd to win, and the Chahar and Bumrah were batting. I still think with the way Chahar was going, I still thought they had a chance. And it proved to be more than a chance because of how close they got in the end. At one point, they needed 10 off 18 deliveries to win, and not soon after that, Chahar got out. And 6 off 6 to win the last over. I think Pretoria scored the last over. Chahar tries to take on the shorter delivery, he gets out. Cool. And yeah, India lose by 4 runs. And well done South Africa for winning all 3 games and clinching the series 3-0. And so yeah, I think that from South Africa's perspective, as I said, there's always this belief in every sporting group that whatever term they'll be labeled as, kind of the favorites, the underdogs, let's say, there's always this belief in a sporting group that they can get the job done against any side. And I think for South Africa, there would have been that belief, and especially at home, they would have been fairly confident actually that they could really spring something up. And I think that they've honestly, after the first game, after losing by 113 runs, they've won the next 5 so convincingly, with including 3 7-wicket wins in chases. And yeah, I think that honestly they've really come good in these 2 series, and well done to them. I think that many people would have thought, even I thought, that India in this ODI series, at least, I understand the Test series, as I said. I still wasn't too overly, or rather, I knew that South Africa, with their bowlers that they've got, I think that with it being a low-scoring series that it could have gone either way, and it went South Africa's way. But I'm saying that, I still, in this ODI series, I thought that India would be the overwhelming favourites, but I'm saying the fact that it's gone the other way with South Africa winning 3-0, and honestly, as I said, by the third ODI, I'll get to what I'm going to say, but I'm saying that, yeah, they honestly looked very good in all the 3 games, and yeah, well done to them. So, in the South Africa batted first, they scored 287. And the first wicket to go was Janaman Malan, and India had 3 changes actually in the bowling attack: Deepak Chahar, Prasidh Krishna, and Jayant Yadav. So, and out went Venkatesh Iyer, Ravichandran Ashwin, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. And then Deepak Chahar got the first wicket, kind of a ball that left Janaman Malan. It was a Jaffa, and he was caught behind. The second wicket was not, well, you could say, as far as runs are concerned, 8 off 12 for Bavuma. He got run out. And the thing is, there was actually a single on there in retrospect. I think he could have made that. But the thing is, he didn't want the ball to hit him. So the last minute, he turned his head away. And if you look at the margin of which he was short of his ground, that the turn of the head actually cost him the run. It cost him kind of making the run. And in the end, it cost him his wicket. So yeah, that was the let-off for India. And there was a kind of a mini partnership between Quinton de Kock and Aiden Markham, with Quinton de Kock kind of being more of the aggressor, and he scored a brilliant 124 of 130, really set South Africa up to get a big score. And Aiden Markham got out, kind of pulling to mid-wicket, and he pulled it straight to the sub, Ruturaj Gaikwad. And I'm saying this too because now going into them, they were once, I think, 70 for 3. Now, you think India were on top, but actually watching the game, and I think this is a result of the fact that South Africa have won 4 games on the bounce with 3 7-wicket wins. I think they had such a lot of momentum, and the batting lineup had really grown in confidence that even when they were 3 wickets down at this stage, and you could see they didn't really feel the pressure at all. I think that however long or short a player's stay at the crease was, by the way they went about their game. I mean, Aiden Markham scored 15, but it wasn't a circumspect 15. And I just think that, they all just tried to be positive. They won't rush, but they tried to be positive. And I just think that they felt that way because after kind of realizing that they had really got the better of the Indian attack, effectively after the I'd say in three really dominant chases, I think that those definitely would have given them confidence, and also winning the Tests and ODI series. And I think that, yeah, it would have really given them confidence to really not feel that pressure, even though they were 70 for 3. And yeah, despite the fact that there were kind of mini partnerships until that point, you couldn't really say that India were on top, even though South Africa were 3 wickets down. And I honestly was not surprised about the next partnership at all because of this. And I think that there's been, whether the team has won or lost for both sides, there's been, in this ODI series, there's been at least one substantial partnership per innings. And it was a partnership between, in this case, Quinton de Kock and Rassie van der Dussen. And 214 was when the next wicket fell, 214 for 4. So as you can see, a huge change in kind of fortunes. And yeah, I think that Quinton de Kock, 124 of 130, Rassie van der Dussen, 52 of 59. They both fell in quite like close proximity. And I think when Dwayne Pretorius came out to bat, it was actually 228 for 6 or something. And they had lost 3 wickets for 14 runs in the last 4 overs. And all in all, they lost the last 7 wickets for 73. So I think it was a huge let-off for India, that the score was actually only 287 or not. Miller got a contribution of 39 of 38. Pretorius 20 off 25, kind of building a partnership along with Miller. But yeah, 287, I think India would have taken that, because 214 for 3, and South Africa were looking like they could get quite a lot of runs. And yeah, I think as far as the bowling figures are concerned, so Deepak Chahar 2 for 53, a bit expensive. Bumrah 2 for 52 and 10, of course. And I thought Prasidh Krishna, look, 3 for 59 and 9.5 for his not too experienced at this level. You'd take it. And Jayant Yadav, none for 53. And Chahar, now 1 for 47 and 9. And the thing is, look, I actually don't think, if you look at the series, I don't think you could say Chahar's bowled badly, honestly. I think they've played him really well, especially Van der Dussen with his sweeps. I think that you look, Chahal and Bumrah obviously, look, he's literally not done anything wrong this series. But even Chahal, for example, look, they've just played him really well, and that's the reason why, especially Van der Dussen has got the runs off him. And yeah, it's for that reason I think that, especially in the last 2 games, I think 1 for 47 in the previous game and also 1 for 47 in this one. I think they've actually done quite decently, considering the fact that the batsman figured him out. And yeah, the other bowlers kind of got a bit of tap by him and Bumrah. Like, not in this game, but I'm saying generally in the series so far, you could say that the Indian bowlers have kind of been getting a bit of tap. So Bumrah and Chahal I thought were quite good. Jayant had none for 53, as I said. And Shreyas Iyer actually bowled 3 overs. Now, you could say 2 things about this. One, you could say, why didn't Venkatesh Iyer bowl in the first ODI if you were going to give Shreyas Iyer a few overs in this game? But rather than me saying that, again, it would be a valid argument. You could say, if you could bowl a batsman who probably hasn't bowled in the international level yet, then I know Venkatesh Iyer hadn't really bowled in ODIs before this at all. He probably hadn't played in ODI before this. Yeah, he hadn't played in ODI before the series, but I'm saying that this is someone that you've actually classified as an all-rounder, and you could say, especially with Fefle Kwayo getting 2 for 26 in his 5 overs in the first ODI, you could say Venkatesh Iyer could have still got purchased an attacking pitch. But my argument in this case, and I don't mind if I keep bowled Shreyas Iyer, is because I think that as far as this 11 they put out on the park, I really think that they thought, if they're playing, look, if Shreyas Iyer is in their long-term plans, which I hope he is, they'd want maybe someone in the top kind of few batsmen to bowl a bit. And I think that out of all the players there, Kohli can bowl a bit, but they would have wanted to test out Shreyas's leg spin. And yeah, I don't really mind. None for 21 in 3, you could say, not too unscathed. The overall score 287. I think I would take that. So yeah, I do understand that this slight initiation into bowling, and I think that honestly, I thought it was actually fair. You could say it's a stretch to look at this, but I thought in some ways you could say it's a step in the right direction to say, what if a few of them, at least one person in the top 5, could bowl even a bit, and they probably they don't even have to bowl in all the games. 2 or 3 overs here and there if they really need to, just a starting point. Then yeah, I didn't really mind Shreyas Iyer bowled. And yeah, 287 for South Africa. So then India 283 all out. So KL Rahul was the first to go, 9 of 10, and caught in the slits by Lungi Ngidi. And you could say that you probably there have been a few times where you could say he would be disappointed that he didn't get a bit more. But I'm saying, look, for me, a match-defining 100 in the first test, 50 in the second test, and 55, a good 55 with partnership batting with Rishabh Pant in the second ODI. I honestly think he had quite a decent time in South Africa, and yeah, that's on him. And once again, it's the second wicket partnership, and I'll say it the third time. I actually think that, as I said, look, he just doesn't look desperate at all. And you know who I'm talking about, Shikhar Dhawan. And the thing is, I actually think with these 3 innings in this ODI series, he's probably puts my argument, and it'll be perfectly a good argument to say that my view of that Rahul should open the batting with Rohit, whatever the case. The fact that Shikhar Dhawan has kind of argued against it with the runs he's put in the series and the way he's got his runs. I mean, I wouldn't mind if, it is kind of argued, because I'm saying that, especially with the way that Rahul was played at number 5 when India toured Australia and it worked for them. I know they lost that series. You can't expect the batsman to chase, more than 370. Yeah, I think they had to chase slightly more than 370 in the first 2 ODIs and lost. And they actually batted quite well. They got quite a decent score, even though they didn't get to the actual total. So, yeah, I think coming back to this series, I think that you could say that KL Rahul at number 5 for a position which he can bat at in ODI cricket. And honestly, making sure that you use the form that Shikhar Dhawan is in with putting him back up top as a regular opener. And look, I do get that, but I'm saying that I would still, I know it sounds harsh, and I'm not saying this as the fact that he hasn't performed well. I'm just saying I still think I'd put KL Rahul at the top of the order. I'm just saying that I just can't seem to see the fact, just because making use of someone's adaptability is different. But if you've seen the kind of player he is opening the batting, I just don't see the reason why you should put him at number 5. Would it be better for the team? Probably. And I guess that actually really goes quite far. But actually, even then, if KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma and Kohli, which, as I said, is the best top 3 I've ever seen in cricket, if those 3 fire, then you could say that's also good for the team. And if you look at, as I said, in my view, the best top 3 in cricket firing, for me, would actually outweigh the benefits of KL Rahul batting at 5 and Dhawan opening by some distance. So, yeah, I think you could argue both the ways with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rahul does bat at number 5 and Dhawan bats at opening, because, as I said, it seems quite harsh to drop him based on the form that he should. And Virat Kohli, once again, a brilliant innings, 65 of 84. And look, in this pitch in Cape Town was also similar to the Power one. There was a bit of grip. And yeah, this partnership went on for quite a long way. And 2 things. Once again, they showed how well they batted. And the second one, it shows that India, once again, despite a good partnership between the second wicket, really setting a platform, they threw the game away. And if you actually look at this, not many others, so Dhawan got out of Feflekwayo trying to go for a big shot. You could say rose on him a bit. Didn't rise that much, but just enough. And he got caught. And then I actually think that the others didn't really. Now I'm going to get to the next dismissal on the other soon, but I'm saying the others didn't really do too bad, with Shreyas Iyer at 26 of 34 and Surya Kumar 39 of 32. Kohli 65 of 84, brilliant innings. And Deepak Chahar with that brilliant 54 of 34. And I think that if you actually look in the end, India didn't lose the game by a long way at all, only 4 runs. But the one dismissal that has probably, I would say, really opened the door for South Africa. Well, not open the door, because there was still a decent partnership after that, but I'm saying it really didn't. It was very inconvenient. Rishabh Pant, inexplicably, now I'm a huge fan of him, as I said, ever since I saw him bat for then Delhi Daredevils when I was in year 9. I've backed him all the way. I've been at the ground in person in England when he scored that 114 in the 5th test. Yeah, so I back him all the way, but I'm just saying, Rishabh Pant in this tour has had good highs and lows, which, yeah, he probably, two ducks in a way that I at least in the test match one, 3 balls, and also he was being sledged, and because I think Rabada being a part of Delhi Capitals would have certainly been, but I would say more than half the reasoning to say let me just charge and see what I get. In this case, it was so random because, and it's actually even worse this case because you've just lost to the wicket of a set batsman, and Kohli's batting at the other end. There's no need to take that kind of a risk. Even if that had gone for a boundary as well, I wouldn't have probably been too happy with the shot because I just think it's unnecessary because it can go either way. And in this case, it's just straight to the field. I don't know what that was about. And I just think that, especially after the 85 he scored, this probably wasn't a great dismissal at all. He also, I think there was a chance for Van der Dusen, which he missed as well, and he missed a stumping chance in yesterday's game. So apart from the game 2 days ago, so apart from the 85, you could say the series probably hasn't, the ODI series probably hasn't been Rishabh Pant's best. And look, he's a very good keeper usually. There's always times when, look, everyone has times when these things happen. And I don't think he's in any slump at all. As I said, I think right now, I think he's the second best keeper in the world. And I think that he'll still come good. But these two dismissals, the one in the test series and one this one, really wasn't that great. So they really weren't that great. So the thing is, 118 for 3, I think, after that terrible shot from Pant, honestly. And then, so Kohli and Shreyas Iyer bat for 30 or 52. Once again, a good partnership. And they actually showed a split not split screen, but kind of like a ball tracking kind of thing. After Kohli got out, a ball from Keshav Maharaj where there wasn't as much deviation. The ball didn't grip as much off the surface, and he was able to play the ball, I think, for one down to long on. And in this case, the grip caused the ball to kind of sharply go away from him and bounce as well. He got a leading edge, and Bavuma caught Kohli for the third time in the series, and he got a lot of catches. I think 6 or 7 catches he got in this series, Bavuma. And so Kohli was out, and at that point you thought that India were at I think that they were actually in the game throughout the whole thing. I think with the players they had to come, with the rate and the runs and rate required, I think that India were, even when Kohli was out, I still thought that India, even if a mini partnership formed and either Shreyas Iyer or Suryakumar got set, I still thought that it was India's game. But I think that, and it did look like it was India's game for most of the second innings, just like it did in the first ODI. But Shreyas Iyer got out for I think 26 of 34. It was a ball where, I understand why he went for it. I mean, it wasn't a great delivery. The bowler didn't celebrate too much either, but he was caught I think kind of a square fine leg, and then. He got out. Jayant Yadav came in. He didn't really last too long. 2 of 6. And then, then it was up to Deepak Chahar and Suryakumar Yadav got out, and then Jayant Yadav I think he didn't last too long, and Deepak Chahar and Jasprit Bumrah were out in the middle. And the thing is, I still thought with the runs required at that point, I still thought India had a chance, but Deepak Chahar was still going quite well. And after that, I think the time when he thought that really he kind of just turned the game on was when the run was about at that 40-odd mark. Then he really kind of played some expansive shots, and 54 of 34 all in all. India were actually 10 of 18 to win, as I said, and then Chahar gets out soon after, then Bumrah, and then they lose in the last over. So. And I'm not really nitpicking at this, but as I said, I think, I didn't say this, but I'm saying 18 extras for India in the first innings, 11 in the second innings for South Africa. And again, this isn't the reason why India lost the game, but Deepak Chahar bowled 6 wides in a no ball, and there was 5 wides of Jayant Yadav as well. So just these small things. Again, India don't have a problem with bowling extras. I'm just saying that if you just look on paper, 18 versus 11, you could try and I could probably a terrible argument, but I'm just saying that on paper you could say that since they lost by 4 runs, maybe if the 5 wides wasn't there and it was just a wide, then it would definitely would have helped India's cause. Just that little bit. But I'm saying that, South Africa's bowling figures, I think Lungengidi 3 for 58 and 10. Dwayne Pretorius 254, 9.2. Magala a bit expensive again, 1 for 69. Maharaj has had a brilliant series, 1 for 39. Fefluquayo, brilliant game for him with the ball, 3 for 40 in, I think, 7 overs. And Markram didn't actually bowl too many in this game. You've seen in the other two where he's bowled from the top of the innings, whereas in this case he just bowled 9 for 21 and 3. Was introduced fairly kind of later on. So that was that. And I think that well done to South Africa for this series. They thoroughly deserve to win. But I really think that if India in all 3 games had the opportunity to win, and I think that they honestly should have won all 3 games, because I'm saying not that South Africa bowled badly as such, because they batted very well. But I'm saying that with the partnerships that India had got, at least one substantial partnership for anything, or even if they could, the bowlers really lost the game in the second ODI, but as far as the batting is concerned, in the first and third ODI, they should have probably won these 2 games. I'm saying this game, only 4 runs in the end that they lost by. Deepak Chahar had to play the innings, but if someone had even, for me, I think if Rishabh Pant's duck, that really in retrospect just was proved to be a bit of an unnecessary hassle. And I think that, in the first game, 138 for 2 to 188 for 6 wasn't too great either. As I said, with the fact that Venkateshwar wasn't playing in this game, but you've seen what I've said in my previous videos about that and in the previous games. And the thing is, I think that India had the opportunity to win the games pretty much in all the games, and yet they didn't. And it's just India didn't take their opportunities, and South Africa took advantage of that, despite the fact that they also played well as well. And I think that overall, because of those 2 things, South Africa thoroughly deserved to win this series 3-0. And I really think that India will be disappointed in this tour. I think that after the first test, I actually think they lost the series in the second test, not in the third one. I think whatever would have happened, South Africa would have won the third test. I mean, it was fairly even Stevens, and even when India had the opportunity to get a bigger score, South Africa just they got the batsmen out. The batsmen didn't get themselves out. So at that point, I don't think you can really blame India for losing the third test. Even if they'd won the second one, I think they would have probably lost the third one if it went the same way that it did. And I think that was just that. But in the ODIs, honestly, after pretty much having an opportunity to win the games in all the I think that in the first game, 296, you think is quite a big score in Pau, but yet you see the way that India actually go about it for a long period of time in the chase. And then you think, well, they're making things look fairly easy, especially the second wicket partnership in both chases. And yet they just lost wickets at the wrong time, and because of that they lost the first one, because of that they lost the third ODI, and they got demolished in the second innings in the second one. So really disappointing ODI series from India. I think they'll be quite disappointed, but I think that they're not in a crisis situation. I mean, they're just not in anywhere near that, because as I said, they still got the personnel. The reason why they'll be even more disappointed is because they have got the personnel. And the thing is that I think that this West Indies series coming up is a chance to kind of, I wouldn't make too many changes to the team. I just think it's kind of a trying things out thing, where I think that someone like a Bishnoi could really kind of as an additional leg spin option. Not that Chahal's place in is under threat, because as I said, it's not like he bowled badly. They played him well. Just kind of adding a few bowlers into the mix, seeing how they can do. And I think that 2 reasons. One, playing at home. I think that they would really kind of like that. And 2, I think if especially if you're introducing someone like a Bishnoi, he'll be playing against a team that probably aren't the greatest at playing spin, bar a few individuals. So I'm actually looking forward to the West Indies series. I think it'll be great fun to watch. I really like it when West Indies tour India and when India tour West Indies. And it's a team that, you have quite a big soft spot for. And so, I'm really looking forward to see that. I'm sure that there'll be a few people introduced for that. And even if there aren't, I really want to see that, look, especially after this series, seeing that where they're going to back KL Rahul, who's going to play out of Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav, or who's Chirag. Just kind of things like that. I think that it will be very kind of interesting to see who they go with. But that's on this series. And despite the fact that India have lost kind of the last 5 games, I've still a tour of South Africa is always kind of a good occasion, and it's very kind of an important occasion. But I'm saying that even then, I think that it's still been like India won. I actually thought India gave quite overall a satisfactory performance in the Test series. I think that, as I said, they would have lost the third game anyway, and they lost the second game, and that's where I thought they lost the series. The ODI series was disappointing, but as I said, I think that the reason why I'm saying that, despite the fact they lost, I think that they'll be able to take a lot of learning from this, and I think the team will only get better. It's already as good as it is. I don't really think that it has to. I think that they were going through a bit of a transition in the leadership kind of thing, and I don't think you can blame KL Rahul. Really, it's 50-50. You could say that sometimes there were questionable decisions, like taking Shardul Thakur off in the second ODI after he got Quinton de Kock out, and then he came back and gave, I think, 3 4s in his next over, and when the game was almost over. And the thing is, you could say that, but also the fact that the bowlers didn't really help him either. Not only in this ODI series, they didn't help him in the second test. And so you could say in both ways. And I think, I'm sure they're just getting used to things, just the kind of the whole leadership thing. I think that, as I said, we've kind of been seeing Kohli as a player, because he's not involved in the leadership role. He's not captain or vice captain. So I think that I just think that there's just a transition with the leadership that's going. I don't really think that it's anything too much to worry about. And that's on the series. I'm really looking forward to the West Indies series. And the IPL auction videos will probably be coming in a few days' time. I'm saying if I put it now, it'll probably be a bit too early. And there is quite a bit of time until the 6th of February, I believe, until the West Indies ODIs. So and with the IPO auction coming fairly soon as well, I'm sure that there'll be a lot of good events to look forward to. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and please share this video with friends. And remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?